Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. So great news, Final Draft 12 is here. Yay! And of course, we got it. So let's have a look. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Final Draft for giving the 12th edition to us so we can keep on doing tutorials like this. It's very much appreciated and we for sure will enjoy it. Before we start, I would just like to say please consider subscribing and please don't forget to hit that little notification button so you don't miss any of our future videos. Okay, so let's jump into Final Draft 12. So in this version of Final Draft, they have added some really cool features, so let's have a look at them. The first one I want to show you is the track changes. So it's basically used by clicking turn on the tracking and then you go down to your text and you're gonna change something. Let's just show you here. So let's say I just want to change it to Maya walks down the street. See, you can see in the blue text what has actually been changed from the previous version. And you can also accept or reject the changes. So I think that's a really good tool if you're collaborating with someone. And I've been thinking about like when would I use the tracking changes and when would I use the revision mode. And I think like tracking the changes might be if I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have these changes or if I work with someone else and they want to accept or reject my changes. While if I use the revision mode, maybe it's more if I'm sure of the changes, but I'm not sure. I need to use these tools in relation to each other to know more about them for sure. Okay, moving on to one of my favorite tools in Final Draft, the Bitboard. So let's head over there by just clicking this button. And what you can see here, you have these two post-it cards and they have basically just linked them together. And how to do that is just that, okay, let's create a new beat. Let's say Maya is robbed. This screenplay is awesome, by the way. So what I do here is just that I can link it by just dragging it on top of it. And that's amazing because I think if you use the Bitboard a lot and it's a big mess, you can link it together. And I think that's going to be helpful for you to keep track of things. Haven't tried it much yet, but I for sure will. And the thing I am amazed about with the Final Draft 12 is their outline. So see here on the top, you can just make it bigger by just dragging it back and forth like this. You can see that they have added outlines. Outline 1, outline 2, and then they actually get the actual script down here. And then other tools, you can send the cards down to the script. So let's say I am outlining. So I would maybe add that one over here. So you can see here on the goal where it's placed, and then maybe I just add that one. I can move around like this. And it's just amazing for outlining. So I think this tool I will use a lot for sure. To just like in the beginning of a screenplay, I can just work around it and just outlining. I think it's gonna be a lot of help to actually see the screenplay. So yeah, and just by clicking on them, you can see them down here and you can see them up here, and it's just, yeah, I can't state enough. It's gonna be so much fun playing around with this. Okay, so let's have a look on the script notes. So maybe you're familiar with the script notes over here. I mean, because this display looks pretty much the same. But what they have done now is that you can click on your note and you can actually see here, oh, great, more suspense. So I think that's very helpful because before in the 11th edition, I had to go back and forth between the pop-up of the script notes. And I mean, it's not a big deal, but this is just easier to have access to it. So I think that's going to be helpful for sure. A few months ago, I got the question on how to import a PDF to Final Draft. And I found it not that easy because then you had to make it into another file and then import it, and it was not that good. And I didn't think it was that easy. But now they have made it easier. So let's have a look. What you would do is go to File, hit the button for Open. I will just do the pilot for Orphan Black because I love that show for sure. So here you go. I have the pilot imported here, and that's for sure, let me zoom in a little bit, gonna help a lot in if I want to read a friend's PDF and we have been using the different softwares and I just got that PDF and I want to import it so I can make some changes or add notes or whatever. The thing though with importing it, it's that you might need to do some changes because it might not be in the correct formatting. Because like you see here, it's like the text goes off, like the lines. So you maybe need to do stuff like this to maybe make it look better. So you might have to kind of read through it and make sure it doesn't look, I mean, I wouldn't have that much space here between train and all. But for sure, this is way better than it was before. So yeah, I think that's a great tool if you are reading someone else screenplay, or if you want to read like the pilot episode of Orphan Black. So I think I covered the most features in the Final Draft 12, but I for sure need to explore it more, and I think I will find more tools that's gonna be real helpful for sure. If I think it's worth upgrading, I think so. The thing though that I didn't get that wow, that it was so much different from the 12th version, but I still would upgrade because I really love what they did with the Bitboard and the outlining part, because I think that is going to be so much helpful. And just when I'm outlining the story in the beginning and during the rewrites and I need to move stuff around, I think that's going to be awesome. So just by that tool, I for sure would upgrade. So I hope you found this little sneak peek of the Final Draft 12 helpful. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. So if you want to check out our tutorial on the 11th version of Final Draft, please watch this video. Stay safe, keep on writing. I'll see you in the next one. Hej då!